Seniors, I am begging you to stop these 5 exercises that are slowly damaging your heart. You thought you were doing everything right. A few stretches in the morning, a walk around the block, a couple of exercises you saw online that promised to keep you young. But then your heart starts racing a little too fast. You feel lightheaded, even though you're not moving that much. And deep down, something whispers, this doesn't feel right anymore. My friend, if that sounds familiar, this video may be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because I've seen too many seniors try to do what's right, only to end up in the ER, confused and heartbroken because no one ever told them not all movement is good movement, not all exercise heals. And some of the most popular workouts may actually be aging your heart faster. So today, I'm gently begging you, please stop these 5 exercises before they quietly damage the muscle that's been keeping you alive for decades. And if you care about your strength, your peace of mind, and your independence, go ahead and tap that red subscribe button. This is your safe space to move smarter, not harder, and to live stronger every single day. 1. High-intensity workouts, the hidden danger of feeling young again. Let's start with the first mistake, one I see far too often, even among the most health-conscious seniors: high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. It sounds impressive, it feels productive, but for aging hearts, it can be quietly destructive. You see, HIIT involves short bursts of intense effort like fast jogging, jumping jacks, or cycling at full speed followed by quick recovery periods. And while that may be great for a 30-year-old body, for someone over 60, it's like asking a worn engine to rev at full power without warning. Here's the truth most people don't know. After 60, the heart's ability to recover from sudden spikes in pressure or heart rate drops significantly. The American Heart Association reports that older adults have a reduced cardiac reserve, the ability of the heart to respond to stress or exercise demands. In fact, one study from the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology showed that sudden, high-intensity exertion increased the risk of cardiac events in seniors by over 3 times compared to moderate exercise. And yet, this is the kind of workout being marketed to you. Burn fat fast. Look 20 years younger. Reverse aging with 10 minutes of AIT a day. But your heart doesn't need speed. It needs rhythm. It doesn't need shock. It needs consistency. One of my patients, 67 years old, began doing HIIT videos at home pushed by good intentions and online promises. She felt strong at first, but 2 weeks later, she showed up at my clinic: heart palpitations, fatigue, dizzy spells, her EKG irregular, her blood pressure unstable, her spirit shaken, and the saddest part, she thought she was doing everything right. This is the danger of HIIT for seniors. You won't always feel it right away. It builds up slowly like pressure in a balloon, and one day, pop. I'm not saying all intense movement is bad, but for you, right now, what you need isn't a burst, it's a breath. Movement that calms the nervous system, supports circulation, and gently strengthens without pushing your body into emergency mode. So what should you do instead? Try interval walking: brisk walk for 1 minute, stroll for 2. Join a low-impact dance class with controlled movements. Practice Tai Chi, one of the only exercises shown to reduce blood pressure while improving balance and flexibility. You'll still get results, but instead of shocking your system, you'll be supporting it. Instead of burning out, you'll build up. And that is how real, lasting strength is made. Because here's something no one tells you. Your heart isn't asking you to be young again. It's asking you to stay here, longer with fewer ER visits, fewer pills, and more mornings you wake up feeling steady, clear, and alive. And this leads us to the second mistake, one that doesn't involve running or jumping, but lying down and crunching your core, thinking you're helping your body. Let's talk about that next. 2. Core crunches and heavy lifting. When strength training turns against the heart. Let's pick up where we left off. If HIIT is like slamming your foot on the gas pedal, then heavy lifting and core crunches are like pressing all your weight onto the brakes while holding your breath. And the pressure that builds, it doesn't just affect your muscles, it shoots straight into your chest, straining your heart. So many seniors think crunches and sit-ups will strengthen their back and core to prevent falls. And it's true, core strength matters. But the way we build it, that's where the danger lies. Let me explain. When you perform a crunch or lift a heavy object, especially while holding your breath, and most people do this unconsciously. You activate what's called the Valsalva maneuver. This causes a sharp rise in intra-abdominal and thoracic pressure. The result, a sudden spike in blood pressure, reduced blood flow to the heart, and in vulnerable individuals an increased risk of fainting, arrhythmias, or even stroke. In one 2021 study from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, older adults performing heavy lifting showed blood pressure surges exceeding 200 mmHg systolic, a level that can be dangerous, especially for those with a history of heart disease or undiagnosed hypertension. I remember a patient 72 years old, a retired school principal, strong-willed, disciplined. She prided herself on doing 50 crunches every morning. But one day she collapsed. The diagnosis, ventricular tachycardia, triggered by a rapid spike in blood pressure caused by breath holding and abdominal compression during exercise. She survived, but it scared her so deeply. She refused to move for weeks, paralyzed by fear of her own body. And that's the tragedy. What was meant to empower her nearly broke her. You don't have to stop building strength, but we must change how you approach it. Here's what I recommend instead. Trade crunches for pelvic tilts or seated knee raises. Swap heavy dumbbells for resistance bands or bodyweight squats with a chair. Always breathe through the effort, never hold your breath. Work with a trainer who understands cardiac-safe modifications. And don't worry if the moves feel too easy. Sustainability is power. Control is strength. Every safe rep you complete adds, not takes away from your future. I often remind my patients your body is not a machine to be pushed. It's a garden to be tended. And your heart, it's the soil that keeps everything else alive. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, I don't go to the gym. I just walk outside. That should be safe, right? In most cases, yes, but there's one major variable that can turn even a simple walk into a silent risk: the temperature around you. Let's talk about how heat and cold can trick your heart into overworking and what to do about it. 3. Exercising in extreme temperatures, when the weather quietly turns against your heart. So far, we've talked about how you move. Now let's talk about where and when, because even the gentlest exercise can become dangerous if you're doing it in the wrong environment. I've seen it more times than I can count. A senior walks outside in the middle of summer, determined, hydrated, motivated. 10 minutes later, they're dizzy, sweaty, short of breath, not because they pushed too hard, but because the heat pushed back harder. Here's what most people don't realize. After 60, your body loses its ability to regulate internal temperature efficiently. That means your heart has to work overtime to compensate. In heat, your blood vessels expand to release warmth, and your heart beats faster to help cool you down. But this extra workload on an aging heart can lead to palpitations, heat exhaustion, or even heat stroke. In cold, the opposite happens. Your blood vessels constrict to preserve heat, causing your blood pressure to spike, especially dangerous for those with hypertension or plaque buildup. According to the CDC, over 80% of heat-related deaths in the U.S. occur in people over 60. And in a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, it was shown that seniors are significantly more likely to suffer cardiovascular events during temperature extremes, both hot and cold. Let me share a story. Tom, 74, was proud of his daily walks, rain or shine. He laced up his sneakers every morning at 11:00 a.m., even in the heat of July. But last year, after a particularly humid day, Tom collapsed on the sidewalk. His body temperature was 104 degrees Fahrenheit. He survived a heat stroke, but just barely. His family had no idea how quickly things could escalate, and neither did he. I tell this story not to frighten you, but to empower you with awareness, because you don't need to stop walking. You just need to choose the right window of time. Here's what you can do to stay safe in the summer. Walk early morning before 9 a.m. or early evening after 6 p.m. In the winter, warm up indoors first and wear layers that can be easily removed. Avoid outdoor exercise when the temperature is above 85 degrees Fahrenheit or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Always carry water even for short walks, and don't wait until you're thirsty to drink. And most importantly, listen when your body whispers so it never has to scream. Dizziness, unexpected fatigue, or shortness of breath aren't just aging. They're signs your heart is working too hard in silence. Now, you may be thinking, well, I don't do long walks or go out when it's hot. I just do a few movements indoors, some jumping jacks here and there, and that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Because it's not just temperature that can destabilize your heart. It's also fast, jarring movements that disrupt balance, blood flow, and rhythm. Let's explore that in the next section. 4. Jumping, rapid movements, and sudden direction changes, the chaos that confuses an aging body. Let's go one step further. Even when you're exercising indoors, away from heat or cold, certain types of movement can still destabilize your heart. You know the ones I mean. Quick jumping jacks, burpees, side-to-side steps in fast-paced aerobics videos. Movements that demand speed, coordination, and instant response. And while they might feel energizing at first, they can silently wreak havoc on a body over 60. Why? Because aging affects more than your joints or muscles. It changes your nervous system, your blood pressure control, your balance reflexes, and your heart rhythm response. When you make a sudden movement jumping up, twisting fast, or changing direction, your heart has to adjust your blood pressure and oxygen flow in a split second. And for an aging cardiovascular system, that instant response isn't as reliable as it used to be. In fact, a study published in Age and Aging Oxford Academic 2020 found that postural instability and delayed cardiovascular response during fast movement increases fall risk by up to 43% in seniors over 65. Even more concerning, fast movements triggered temporary arrhythmias in 18% of participants who had no previous heart conditions. One of my patients, a 69-year-old retired nurse, tried an online senior-friendly aerobics class. It started slow, then sped up with lateral hops and rapid steps. Halfway through, she felt her legs give out, not from muscle fatigue, but because her heart rate shot up, her blood pressure dropped and her brain didn't get enough oxygen to stay balanced. She fell and fractured her wrist. What's tragic is, she was trying to stay independent, but that single workout set her back 6 months of recovery. So what's the solution? Don't chase speed, choose stability. Replace fast-paced routines with Tai Chi, gentle flow yoga, or slow dance movements. Focus on fluid transitions instead of explosive jumps. Prioritize balance exercises like standing on one foot or walking heel to toe slowly. Always have a stable surface nearby a wall, a chair just in case. I like to say this to my older patients. It's not how fast you move. It's how safely you land. Your strength now isn't measured in intensity. It's measured in how gracefully you protect what matters: your balance, your confidence, your heart. And while movement during the day has its risks, there's one more danger we haven't talked about yet. One that doesn't involve movement at all. In fact, it sneaks in when the world gets quiet and you decide to squeeze in a workout right before bed. Let's talk about late-night exercise and how it might be silently stealing your heart's chance to rest, recover, and stay strong. 5. Exercising too late at night when good intentions disrupt the heart's deepest healing. We've talked about dangerous movements. Now, let's talk about dangerous timing, because it's not just what you do. It's when you do it, especially if it's after dark. Many seniors think, evening is peaceful. I've finished my errands. I'll do a little movement before bed. It'll help me sleep better. It sounds logical. But for the aging body, late-night exercise may do more harm than good. Why? Because after 60, our circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock, becomes more sensitive to disruption. That means your heart, nervous system, and sleep-wake cycle are more easily thrown off by stimulation close to bedtime. In one clinical study from the Sleep Research Society 2021, researchers found that adults over 60 who exercised within 2 hours of going to bed had a 32% reduction in deep sleep quality and a 21% increase in overnight heart rate. In simple terms, your body doesn't get the recovery it needs. Even light movement like a brisk walk or stretching too vigorously raises your core temperature, heart rate, and adrenaline levels, which signals to the body stay alert. But what your heart needs most at night is the exact opposite. Let go, slow down, repair. Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 70, vibrant, and lives alone. She started walking after dinner to stay active, but then she began having restless nights, waking up at 2 a.m., heart pounding. She thought it was stress, but when we adjusted her routine, moving her walk to the early afternoon, her sleep improved within a week. Her heart rate dropped. Her energy stabilized. Why? Because we stopped stimulating the heart when it needed to heal. Sleep isn't just rest. It's repair time for your cardiovascular system. Your blood pressure drops. Your heartbeat slows. Inflammation reduces. And your body goes into recovery mode. Interrupt that. And you rob your heart of its most essential medicine. So here's what to do instead. Finish exercise at least 3 hours before bedtime. Use the evening for relaxation activities, light stretching, calming music, or reading. Keep your room cool, dark, and free from screens. Listen to your body, not the clock. If you're already tired, skip the workout. Remember, health is not a race, it's a rhythm. And now that we've uncovered the 5 types of exercises and habits that could be quietly harming your heart, it's time we talk about something even more important than any movement. The quiet, powerful decision to listen to your body, to stop chasing intensity and start choosing intention. Let's explore that final truth together in our last message from the heart. The final beat, a message from my heart to yours. If you've made it this far, thank you. That tells me something important. You care. You care about your body, your future, your independence. And that is the most powerful decision you can make at any age. Because after 60, health is no longer about pushing harder. It's about listening deeper, to the tightness in your chest, to the shortness of breath, to the whispers your body gives you long before it cries out for help. Today, we uncovered 5 types of exercises that might be quietly harming the heart that has served you for decades. But this video wasn't about fear. It was about freedom. The freedom to move in ways that heal. The freedom to say, I don't have to keep up with the world, I just have to stay connected to myself. You don't need extreme workouts. You don't need to sweat buckets. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. What you need is peace. Peace in your body. Peace in your heartbeat. Peace in the way you treat yourself. So here's my final invitation to you. Choose presence over pressure, grace over grit, consistency over chaos. And if this message spoke to you in any way, leave a comment below with the word peace. Tell us what you'll do differently starting tomorrow, because this isn't just a video, it's a community, and you belong here. Tap that red subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's walk this journey together with wisdom, with care, and with hearts that last.